Okay, we're back, and whoop, magically I changed my outfit too for Professor Grogan. Hey guys, hey Christian, hey Josh, thanks for coming back, and I hope you enjoyed the first chapter of Matt Christopher's The Kid Who Only Hit Homers, one of my favorite books when I was back in the elementary grades, so I really enjoyed that. I'll go ahead and put this prop away because this will distract me. And I actually took out the sticker on my hat. That was a noob move. You guys didn't tell me I had a sticker on my hat. I should have removed that yesterday before filming, but no worries. So what'd you guys think of the first chapter? Did you guys get to the end? Pretty good? Okay. Well, let's talk about that. So the name George Baruth, does that mean anything to you?
Sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar. I agree. So George Baruth. George Baruth. Can you think of any famous baseball player that...
Yeah.
Okay, okay, good, you caught it. See, Matt Christopher was playing a game with us. And this is the game he's playing. This is George Herman Ruth, also known as Babe Ruth. Now, I'm going to give you, I have a stat sheet here I got off of Wikipedia. Here's Babe Ruth. See, he's known as the Babe Ruth. In fact, I believe the candy bar, Baby Ruth, you guys ever had that?
Oh, yeah.
It's delicious. Yeah, peanuts, chocolate, caramel. You had me at chocolate. But yeah, this is Babe Ruth. Now, I want you to look at his batting average. Okay, look at his batting average. What's his batting average, Christian?
342.
Okay, so if it's 342 batting average, then 658 would be his failure percentage. And you said, in this case, is that considered a winner? I mean, he's failing more than he's hitting, right? But he's considered one of the greatest baseball players to ever lived. And so look at how many home runs he hit.
No.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah, 714. Now, that's been eclipsed, since then. A few guys, I know Mark McGuire and a few others have beaten him. But at the time, that record stood for the longest time. And I didn't fact check how long it stood, but it stood for a few decades. So yeah, he was the home run king. Now, think of the title, The Kid Who Only Hit Homers. And what's his name? He's a cat in a cartoon. But Sylvester, yeah, but not a cat in this story. Yeah, Sylvester Codmeyer III. What a crazy name, right? By the way, I'm Robert Joseph Allen II. I have a second because my dad's the first. He messed up because it's a grandfather-grandson thing. We need a first and second. So for Sylvester Codmeyer III, we must be going through some generations here. So he's got a cool name, but obviously he didn't want to play baseball. Do you remember what his big problem was? I mean, obviously his friends were his friends encouraging or discouraging him to play? Yeah, kind of just little side comments here, just kind of picking away at a scab, kind of making fun of him in a very non-aggressive way. But they know he's not very good, and he doesn't feel like he's very good either. What else was stopping him? Did you read toward the end what was hindering him? Because George Baruth was his batting coach. You see when he's practicing with him, and he said, tell the coach tomorrow that you want to join the team, the baseball team. And he said, what about do you remember which body part he was referring to? Because he wasn't a very fast baseball player.
Legs.
His legs, yeah, at the end. Yeah, he said at the very end, and I'll go ahead and get there real quick. He says, what about my legs? And then do you remember what he said? Can you look at the last page? What Mr. Baruth, I thought that was so funny, very clever of Matt Christopher to do that. What did he say? Look at the very last two sentences there.
He said, Sylvester, look at them
Yeah.
unbelievably. Unbelievably. What about my legs, Mr. Baruth? What about them? You're going to play baseball, so not run in a horse race.
That's
There you
right,
go.
that was funny.
Yeah. Now you do want to run fast. Let's be honest here. In fact, I've seen baseball games, guys, where the guy hits it to second base and the person is just going to toss it to first. So sometimes the batter won't make an effort to run. The crowd will do what?
Cheer.
Well, they cheer. They want to cheer you on, but if you don't run to the base, because you're out, they kind of boo you. Yeah, and you could be on the home team, so they get kind of upset. But let me ask you this. Here's, I think, the point of the first chapter, though. Have you guys ever wanted to do something and you were hesitant to do that? Okay, can you name that? I'll give you an example. I wanted to run. It's not a baseball story, okay, because I learned I wasn't a very good baseball player in the elementary. But I had other things I wanted to do, so I tried them. But if you ever wanted to do something, but you're kind of afraid and you have reservations, okay, can you think of what was it, Josh, that you wanted to do, but something held you back? Maybe you had some friends making fun of you, or maybe you feel like, I just don't feel like I'm fit enough. Maybe physically you didn't feel like you had the frame to do whatever you want to do. Can you think of what that was?
Not baseball. Baseball was okay, but
Yeah.
basketball.
Basketball? You're a
Yeah.
pretty tall guy.
Well, you did do it, but then
Yeah, I can.
you've
do
been
it
a good
all
Okay, all right, but at least you tried it though, and I think people respect others when they actually try, because if you know Sylvester in the story, was he going to try? I think he was going to quit. I don't think he was even going to try it for the team. And sometimes it takes someone to encourage you. Have you ever done something because someone encouraged you to do something? Christian, what was that you did?
Basketball.
Basketball? Okay. Were you kind of hesitant maybe to join the team or try out? Do you remember who that significant person was that encouraged you to do that?
I think it was my dad.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely has a significant role in your life. Yeah, so do you remember what he said to you? Like, hey son, maybe give it a go here.
No.
Okay. But do you guys believe that if you try out for something, that if you fail, that may be a good life lesson, that maybe it's part of the learning experience? Yeah. Because I know some kids, they're afraid to try something because they think that, well, I'm just going to fail anyway. Well, yeah, but why don't you just give it a shot? So I'll end with this story because I was afraid to try something because I weighed almost 300 pounds, but I needed to lose some weight. And so in 2015, I actually weighed 292. I weigh about 250 right now. So I lost about, close to 50 pounds. But in January of 2015, weighing 292 pounds, I told the student body during my chapel week that I was going to run a marathon. Do you guys know how long a marathon is?
Like miles and miles.
Yeah, it's 26.2 miles. Okay, now I used to run in the 90s, but I hadn't run in the last 10 years. So on the first month, guys, I couldn't even run a mile. I could barely run a mile, literally, because it hurt my knees because I weighed so much. And I remember some students were texting me like, hey, keep on going on, don't give up. And because I said it in chapel, why do you think I said it in chapel? Why would you think I'd announce something like that? And do you think there were some people that doubted that? He's not going to run 26.2 miles. Do you think that?
Everyone does it and everything. Like,
Yeah.
There's always someone.
Always someone that'll try to discourage you? Yeah. And that's why, let me encourage you guys, the lesson I get from this first chapter, don't listen to him. We need to listen to the George Bruce in our life that'll encourage us. And not only encourage us, but if you notice, he helped him. And maybe we've learned a lesson about helping other people too. But I did have students to encourage me. By the way, that's why I said it out loud in chapel. I knew it'd make me accountable. I knew that if I said I was going to do it, I'd have to follow through with it. Well, I'll keep the long story short for filming's sake here, but I completed 912 miles. From January through May, I completed 200 miles. From June to August, I completed another 200 miles. And then from late August to December the 1st on race day, I completed the rest of the miles for a total of, I think it's 512 miles. I completed 157 miles in the month of November. I was running 20 and 22 miles. Man, I'm so glad I didn't listen to the negative people, because at the end I told the story a year later in chapel, and I said, how many of y'all doubted that I was going to actually run the marathon? A bunch of hands went up. And I said, okay. I said, I like to prove people wrong. And maybe that's a lesson that we're learning from Sylvester too, about proving people wrong, as we'll discover. And we'll try to read a little bit more this week. We have a few more days. But I appreciate you guys, your interest in this. And George Bruce, now you see the play that Matt Christopher is doing. He chose somebody that, it was so close to his name. I'm like, most people know Babe Ruth, but unless you're a real fan like I was at the time, I actually knew his full name, George Herman Ruth. Great baseball player. And he set so many records at the time. Got a candy bar. I think you've arrived when you got a candy bar. Do you know what team he played for, by the way?
The Boston Red Sox.
Okay, yeah. He also played for the New York Yankees. I think it was,
Yeah.
I think he also played, he did debut for the Boston Red Sox, but he ended up, his last appearance was at the Boston Braves. But most of his career, I think he played for the New York Yankees in lots of World Series. But do you guys have any questions? Okay. So I guess the lessons we learn is failure is part of the experience. Don't give up, and have people that encourage you to be in your life, because we all need encouragement. And so don't listen to the naysayers, guys. Once you have that vision of something you want to do, go ahead and do it, and look for people that encourage you along the way. And if you fail, well, that's going to happen. By the way, I had a lot of leg injuries along the way, and so I had a lot of failing to get to where I got to. But at the end of the day, I finished that race in 5 hours and 35 minutes. Longest run I've ever had. Probably will never do it again, but I can claim I'm part of the 1.3% of the world population that has actually done marathon. So I'd encourage you, don't give up. And again, I appreciate your time. We'll go ahead and end tape here.